Have you ever truly paused to consider why an infinite, timeless creator would even need a name? It seems like a contradiction almost, doesn't it? Today, we're doing a deep dive into some sources that really unpack the profound purpose behind names like Yahweh and Jesus and how they connect to our existence and this gift of free will. Our mission really is to get to the heart of why these names matter so much in the grand story. So the sources start by pointing out that even though God is, boundless everywhere, he established a tangible point of contact, a representation within space-time, like a model of his true heavenly seat.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating there is that God chose to place his name on this throne, this model. Think about places like the mercy seat between the cherubim. For anyone maybe not familiar, that was the golden lid on the Ark of the Covenant. It symbolized his presence where he'd communicate. So his name wasn't just a label. It was his proxy, you could say. It represented his authority, allowed him to communicate with creatures like us, creatures too fragile, really, for his full infinite presence. It's how he ruled through commandments, yeah. Allowed a relationship without, obliterating us.
Okay, so back in eternity, before creation, God's alone. No need for a name then, no one else to relate to. But for creatures, for us, with free will, a name becomes crucial to bridge that infinite gap. And the first big one revealed is Yahweh, often translated, I will be what I will be, or maybe simpler, he who exists. But that raises a key question, doesn't it? If Yahweh defines his being, why do the sources hint it was sort of temporary, needing to evolve?
It's a really important point. The sources suggest Yahweh, while revealing God's self-existence, it didn't fully tackle the challenge inherent in free will, the possibility of sin, of death. So this temporary nature maybe pointed towards something more complete coming later, if you connect that to the bigger picture. The free will God gave us, it carried this huge risk, the risk of choosing sin, which leads to death. So to really complete that free will gift, to deal with sin's possibility, to ensure eternal life, God preordained the cross. And that involved an immense divine cost. Our sources talk about complex ideas like an apparent severing of divine persons. It points to a profound internal sacrifice within God himself.
Wow, it's an incredibly costly plan. A profound step needed to perfect our free will. And that's where the name Jesus becomes so central, right? The sources explain God ultimately revealed himself fully as Jesus, which means Yahweh is salvation. So the name itself embodies his whole plan, not just existing, not just ruling, but actively saving, perfecting our moral choice through that huge sacrifice, rescuing us from sin and death.
Precisely. And this completion isn't taking away choice. It's rescuing us from the vulnerability within that choice, the possibility of sin and its final outcome, death. Through Jesus, our free will finds its intended, incorruptible state. The second person of the Trinity, the Son, he became a creature, the mediator, offering salvation, reconciliation, not just judgment from he who exists. Jesus then becomes the name above all names. It allows creatures to directly see God, relate to him, not just his proxy name. It's direct, salvific.
So we've journeyed in this deep dive from Yahweh, he who exists, to Jesus, Yahweh is salvation. It maps God's path from sheer existence to ultimate redemption. All, it seems, to complete that precious gift of free will he gave creation, making it truly free, incorruptible.
Right. And this brings up a really interesting question for you, the listener, to think about. If Jesus truly encapsulates the whole Trinity's work for salvation, this immense divine cost, does that mean the name Jesus somehow already resonated on the heavenly throne before the incarnation? Or was it only Yahweh holding sway back then? Definitely something to ponder for yourself.